Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Mildred, who has deigned to make an appearance, even though she doesn't like it. She wants to play fetch. But, you know, sometimes they jump all over you, and then you get their little toy, and you throw it, and they just sit there and stare at you like, what did you want? What are we doing? This is one of those moments. So Mildred is up here, and Finster is over there. So we get to have, like, a pair of them, a double header here. Isn't that great? But I have to put her down because she doesn't like getting carried. Oh, there she goes. Yeah, but she's gotten calmer over the years. She really has. Here you go. There you go. That's a good girl. Yeah, so that's fine. Anyway, let's get to it, shall we? I just had to do that because I had a rare opportunity. Good girl. Yeah, you're a good girl. Anyway, we're talking about the least ideal Nielsen cycle by mostly major conductors. You know, Nielsen has had a lot of bad luck on disc. It's very interesting. I think the reason is because his style is really the closest to like Beethoven of any other romantic composer. It's punchy, it's muscular, it's hard-hitting, and it needs tremendous energy and drive and direction and not a lot of fussing about. I mean, the more you do to it, the less good it's largely going to sound. I think that's probably a fair statement. On the other hand, it needs to be full of personality because his music is all about human character, personalities, the four temperaments. You know, it's about emotion and expression. But you know, there's this fine line you walk between mannerism and blandness, and I don't know. For some reason, it's hard. It's hard for people to do well. And so there's a lot of bad Nielsen out there, and it was fairly easy to put together a least ideal Nielsen cycle because there are quite a few. And very few of them are 100% good all the way through. You know, Sakari Oramo on Bis, that's one that's really good. And there are some others that we've talked about. You could look at the reviews at ClassicsToday.com. But wow, some just not very good things. So, Symphony number 1, Storgards with the BBC Philharmonic on Chandos. Well, you know, he did a Nielsen cycle. Why? I'm really still puzzled as to what this guy's really good at. His Shostakovich has not been very good. The Nielsen wasn't very good. He did a Sibelius cycle. It wasn't very good. The BBC Philharmonic is not a terribly interesting orchestra. Put it all together, and you get a fairly uninteresting Symphony number 1, which is, you know, kind of Brahmsian. It dates from like 1892. It's not a piece that's terribly challenging in terms of what it asks of its interpreters, but people still have a hard time with it. Oh, yes, they do. It's more sophisticated, actually, than it first seems, I think. Especially when you get to, like, the third movement, that scherzo/intermezzo, which is very Brahmsian, by the way, with its interesting, you know, compound meter and you know, it's a wonderful work, by the way. It doesn't ever get played because the later ones are more famous. It's like so many composers like Tchaikovsky. Well, everyone does, you know, 4, 5, 6, or Dvorak. Everyone does 7, 8, 9. But these earlier ones, they're not worse. Nielsen was a mature composer when he wrote his first symphony. As for the second, well, this one may surprise you. Blomstedt with the Danish Radio Symphony Orchestra on EMI Warner. This is his first Nielsen cycle, and it was one that suffered from the blandness syndrome. Blomstedt, you know, until he became a grand old man, and actually got the San Francisco Symphony, which I think brought an edge and an energy to his music making that it generally lacked while he was in Europe, except for some recordings with the Staatskapelle Dresden, which were quite good. But the Danish Radio Nielsen cycle is flavorless. What can I tell you? And you've got the four temperaments. I mean, you know, each one is a temperament: anger and phlegmaticism and sanguinitude, and, you know, all of these things, and they've got to just burst forth. Well, there ain't any bursting going on in this performance. It's just nice. It's pleasant. But it really, really lacks the energy and vigor that the music demands. Okay, Symphony number 3, the Espansiva. Ooh, Colin Davis, the London Symphony with the LSO on its own label. Oh, is this a mess? What a mess. I mean, you got the timpani getting lost at the beginning of the first movement, and the tempos are all over the place, and Davis is just panting and heaving and drooling, and oh my God, it's just a train wreck. But a fun one to listen to once in a while. I mean, you listen to it and you just shake your head and go, no, 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 no. It's all wrong. Totally, utterly wrong. He did do a couple good Nielsen things in this, and he did a cycle too, which shocks me, but he did. You know who I wish had done a Nielsen cycle, but who never got to it, was Schulte. Apparently, he was thinking about doing Sibelius when he died, and Decca breathed a real sigh of relief once he was gone, because, you know, he had the clout to do whatever he wanted to in Chicago. But he would have been, I think, a good Nielsen guy, because, you know, he would just plow through it excitingly, I hope. And he did very good Brahms. So, yeah, I mean, there was something there. Anyway, number 4, the Inextinguishable. Bernstein and the New York Philharmonic did a great 3 and 5, did a much less great 2 and 4. The 4th is particularly bad. It's one of those push me, pull you jobs. It speeds up, it slows down, it's not terribly well recorded. The playing is somewhat ragged. Who knows what he was thinking? I mean, the symphony does not need any help. It really doesn't. When you've got 2 timpanists on either side of the orchestra pounding the crap out of their drums in an all-out battle to the death in the finale, do you really think that you need a conductor to speed up a little here, slow down a little there, throw a little accent there? I mean, come on. You just let it happen, and it goes. It's fantastic. Okay, Symphony number 5. Paavo Berglund on RCA with the Royal Danish Symphony Orchestra. Oh, God, what another lousy Nielsen cycle this was. And the 5th was the worst of all. It's just terrible. I don't know what... I mean, Berglund is such a fine conductor. And he did great Shostakovich, and he does great Sibelius, and he's just... What is going on in these people's brains? This 5th is so soggy. I mean, you've got a snare drum cadenza in the first movement that barely percolates to the surface a couple times. The finale, which is just soggy is the word. I mean, it just lacks rhythm. It lacks bite. It's soft edged and blurry, and everything the music isn't. It's just really, really unfortunate. And finally, Symphony number 6, the Sinfonia Semplice, Osmo Vänskä with the BBC Scottish Symphony on bis. He also did a Nielsen cycle. He also demonstrated why Sibelius and Nielsen are 2 completely different composers who do not require the same set of virtues to perform the music. Not Vänskä's super duper pianissimo, or in the Semplice, his lame conducting of the wacky waltz in the finale, or the too quick humoresque to have any sense of humor whatsoever, or the unduly slow miniature slow movement, the Proposta Seria, the 3rd movement. No, the tension is distributed very, very oddly in this performance, and not to the music's advantage. So there you have it. The least ideal Nielsen cycle by mostly major composers. It was easy. I could have done 5 of them, 10 of them. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.